This is the Modern M0110 that I've been sent to review. To clarify, it's a prototype that I've been sent, and I really wish it was the real deal. This prototype is a bit messy, rushed, and imprecise. To be honest, it puts a damper on what I expected of a case that has had a physical prototype since last November. The design is essentially finalized, but the finish on this keyboard is far from it. So let's get to it. The Modern M0110 is a retelling of Apple's classic M0110 keyboard, which was in production between 1984 and 1986. It was originally created without any kind of cursor keys in order to force users and developers to adopt mouse controls. The Modern M0110 takes the design cues and makes quite an homage to the past. The specs are as follows. Typing angle is 7 degrees, and the keyboard measures 338 by 145 by 30 millimeters, or 13.3 by 5.7 by 1.2 inches. My keyboard, built up, weighs 7 pounds, 7 ounces, or 3.37 kilograms. Results may vary. The first thing that will undoubtedly catch everyone's eyes is the immense size of this keyboard. In terms of layout, it's an MX HHKB layout, but there's so much extra bezel and space around the typing area. This allows the typing area to be a negative space that directly draws your eyes. It frames the layout beautifully. For many, it's way bigger than it needs to be, but for its design goals, it hits the targets. The finish on this case is definitely eye-catching. It's a beautiful vintage beige while capturing that yellowed ABS look of the past. The color is the result of the Cerakote finish, which unfortunately doesn't hold up to close scrutiny. Due to cost-cutting measures, the finish on this keyboard is far from perfect and is extremely inconsistent, with rough patches here and there, as well as physical abnormalities. If this was a Cerakoted tool on the field, I'd excuse this, but this is a tool on my desk and I have standards. The creators of this board, Jan Glad and Hero Jenkins, the two, have assured me that these issues should not be present in the final group buy models. They've also assured me that other issues I addressed should be resolved as well. But regardless, this is the keyboard I have in front of me, and I have to go through what I have. The build of this keyboard is simple enough, a 3-piece construction with 5 screws securing the top and bottom halves, and 8 screws securing the plate into the top case. Both halves connect very nicely and easily due to the inner rails that guide the top and bottom together for alignment. The top mounted plate I received to use was made of brass. Unfortunately, I received a prototype water jet cut one to build and use, which had poor tolerances for the switches. The tolerances are sloppier than Sloppy Joe Fridays, and the cuts are more jagged than Jagger. Despite these issues, it was still a great typing experience. I used retooled Cherry MX black switches lubed with VPF 1514 for smoothness without the mush, on an XD60 PCB. Janglad recommended I use GMK Carbon, so here you can see it looking absolutely beautiful. I did end up receiving a laser cut plate, but unfortunately not with enough time to rebuild the keyboard. The next reviewer, who currently has this keyboard in their hands, will hopefully enjoy that plate quite a bit. The group buy plates will include the much nicer laser cut versions. The USB port on this keyboard is deep. Fetching a cable is like removing Excalibur. It can be awkward, like fumbling around when you're working on your pants off dance off. Sometimes you'll need to take a second look to guide it in. I imagine people will have scuffed up port passages down the line. I'm not gonna lie though, sometimes I imagine when I plug it in perfectly without looking, I just fired a photon torpedo into a thermal exhaust port without a targeting computer. But how's typing on this behemoth? To be honest, it's kind of a treat. Sure, it's impractically big for a 60%, but it's so solid and heavy, it's a statement on your desk. It probably won't move if you accidentally hit it. The typing feels firm and crisp on this top mounted plate due to the density of the brass and the 8 mounting points for the plate. The angle is fine for the height, and I think using this keyboard is surprisingly comfortable enough. Through my short time putting this keyboard through its paces, it's been a great experience, whether it's typing up documents for Clack or playing some games. It's been a joy to type on and a joy to use. Linear switches on a very firm platform to type on like this can be a real favorite for many. I enjoyed my time with this keyboard, and let's look at the price now. The price of this keyboard we're looking at is either $340 or $390 depending on your finish. This keyboard is good old made in America, which I love personally, but your wallet might not love it as much. Regardless, for a fine piece of keyboard, I think it's worth checking out if you're drawn to this aesthetic, because that's one of the key points of this keyboard. Thank you for watching.